All right,
Beautiful.
here we go. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the Super Awesome Show. After a little bit of a delay, Alexander and I are back and better than ever. And we are going to bring
Yeah.
you nothing but super awesomeness and super awesomeness from ourselves and future guests, of course, who are super awesome. So,
Yeah.
Alexander,
So the show will be even more awesome, like
awesome.
even super awesome more right now.
Yeah,
We're
super
bringing
awesome.
more wisdom, more life experience, more gray hair, more goodness.
Right, right.
Uh,
Yeah, and
we're
it's
back, guys.
we're
Did
back.
you miss us? Did
So
you
we
miss us?
we've both of course they did. Of course they did. We both had some big things going on, and that's part of the reason for the delay. But guess what? We're back and we're back coming strong. So,
Yeah.
Alexander, tell us a little bit about what you've been up to lately. This is super exciting stuff.
Super exciting stuff, man. Where did I start? Amazing work with clients, corporate clients, amazing teams, leadership teams. That kept me busy very much. I'm continuing with the school where actually Tony and I met some time ago. One of the best schools in people in our profession in the world, where, some of the absolute best people like us meet in person. I'm actually flying over in a few days, so I'm very excited for the next weekend.
Nice.
Um, I did a retreat for a week. That was absolutely amazing to allow yourself to slow down and be offline mostly for a week
Mhm.
and work on some things that, you know, it kind of can stay under the hood, but it affects what you create. It affects what you create in your business. It affects your relationships. It affects you personally. That's been going on. I really enjoyed that one. By the way, shout out to Ankush Jain for hosting this and for creating this. And one of the episodes, he was our guest. So if you want to check that one, do that because it was amazing.
Right.
Um, what else has been going on? I'm thinking right now. It's been a lot. So yeah, that's another one. That's another one. Um, a book will be released, right? And I created a German version of the book that Tony has been showing into the camera. That's the Book of Mental Toughness Mantras by amazing Chris Doris. I just felt massively inspired to do that. A lot of my clients get a copy, by the way. A lot of them love it, right? A lot of them desire, since I work in three languages, I work in English, German, Russian. A lot of my clients actually requested a German copy. And I think, do you have like a German? Is there a German edition? Like, unfortunately, not. Da, 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 da. One day I just felt massively freaking inspired to do that. And just out of curiosity, I sat down a couple of days, seriously, two, maybe a weekend and a half of Friday, which I deprioritized my admin. I just started doing it, and I had almost half of the manuscript done after this long weekend. Like, that was absolutely fun to do. Being in high spirits, feeling yourself like a child playing in the playground, right? Like a 5 year old child building sand castles and stuff, and some of them are breaking, but you're having more fun even if they break because can create a new one. So that was how I felt. And at one point, like, hey, I'm gonna reach out to Chris. I'm not gonna just write it and keep it in my folder somewhere. Uh, so we spoke and we created an agreement. Chris is publishing it at this stage. When the episode is live, I guess you can search it on Amazon. And the physical book will be available with my translation. It is more than just a translation, right? So much heart and soul goes into this because this book massively affected my life. It helped me build my inner strength, my resilience, my mental toughness, you could say, and react to life the way I want to, build my life the way I want to, with less stress and more ease, and actually do it faster, and also go and create miracles. And by miracles, we had an episode with Tony where we actually spoke about miracles. I love this definition of a miracle, and I used to hate the word. A miracle is something you think is not possible, or somebody thinks is not possible, and then you do it anyway. Then it gets created anyway. How cool is this? And there's this amazing quote by Ianla Vanzant. Correct me if I'm pronouncing this correct, Tony, because you're the expert here.
Yeah.
She said, one could define mental toughness as the ability to trust what your heart is telling your mind, seasoned with the courage to act upon it. Right? And these mantras in this amazing gem of a book, right? They help do exactly that. This is my experience. I wrote a whole chapter on that, and yeah, it's gonna be out soon. I'm super excited. By the way, I'm not earning any money with just through the book. Chris is selling the book. I hope he will make a shitload of money with that one. For me, it's just my passion project. It's something I deeply, deeply care around, and I have a blessing by Chris to do the work around this. Right?
Yeah, so if you haven't,
S-
if you're listening from the United States, go get yourself a copy. It's also available on Audible, and Chris Dorris himself does the reading for the Audible, so you get to hear him directly.
yeah.
It's I've both read it, I've read it multiple times and listened to it multiple times, and it gets better and better every time. You can see
Okay.
by my little sticky tabs that I've taken a few notes, and I'm just super proud of you, Alexander. Super proud of you, brother, for doing this. That is, when I heard you were doing this, I was just ecstatic. I'm love that you did that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been so much fun. So much fun. And at one point, I was invited to speak on stage in Vienna, which will happen on the 29th of November this year. Just a coincidence, it's my birthday, and that sounds fun to be in Vienna, meet some amazing people, and serve some amazing people on stage. And I thought, well, what do I want to bring as a gift aside of the keynote, aside of meeting people in my presence? What do I want to bring? I thought first about bringing maybe some chapters, like 10 or a dozen of them, translated, polished, edited, like really, really nice, right? And then the idea was born of I could bring the whole book, and actually I get to acknowledge Micah, who is the right hand of Chris, an absolute genius. Chris acknowledges him in the book. Um, some people know him as the shirtless wonder,
Yeah.
but this guy is genius, right? I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. So we speak, and I feel massively inspired. And he sort of planted the seeds in my head. Like you could, if you let go of the idea to let it be perfect. If I let go of my self-sabotaging pattern from the past of needing it to be perfect, I could share the book end of the month. And it was 1 month ago, right? And I'm sitting there, you're absolutely right. So part of the chapter that I wrote, we have a disclaimer, guys, this is not a perfect German edition by design. We invite you to give us feedback, to give me feedback on this, right? And make it better, and also hear stories, because I could tell you a lot of stories. Like when I was reading the first time, our daughter was little. I shared in the book as well. So she was little, and I had what you could call the first differences. And it really, really freaking hurt because I love her so much with all I have, right? But that was me reacting to something that was going on in a negative way. Having a negative interpretation to what's going on, essentially fighting what's real. Fighting the reality, fighting life. And guess what? This is not the fight you want to have because you will suffer. This suffering was an invitation actually to do some work with myself, some deep inner work, which happened through this book as well. So I'm reading this book. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I was so emotional. I was laughing a lot first. It's hilarious. It is fucking hilarious. Second, uh, I even cried. This never ever happened to me while reading a book. Like it was deeply, deeply impacting me also emotionally, spiritually, on all levels. My heart, my soul. Like Chris was speaking to me through this book, and my heart recognized the truth in this. And it opened up. And one of those moments, I was sitting in the living room, and our daughter is coming in, seeing me sobbing essentially in the chair with the book in my hands. looking at me with the utmost gentleness, kindness, love. She comes in and gives me a hug without saying a word. Guys, my relationship with her was healed. All of the disagreements, it's all gone. And I decided this is gonna stay no matter what, forever. I decided that. So that was one of the miracles I experienced just while reading the book. I read it within 24 hours, immersed myself in it, couldn't stop reading it. Went through it several times. Later, I took notes, probably like three-quarter of the book is my notes, plus some insights. Had them digital, I have a huge digital folder with those. And life-changing stuff. Life-changing stuff. Earlier, like before that, several years ago, before that happened, I experienced a burnout, hardcore burnout. And that was a very, very direct invitation from life to change things,
Mhm.
to think differently, to look at things differently, to be more in my integrity, to be more honest with myself, to be kinder to myself, not to be a jerk, which I used to be. It wasn't fun to be around. And yeah, this book has been influential and like instrumental, massively valuable to go 180 degrees from the world champion in negative thinking and complaints and essentially destroying yourself and trying to survive
Right.
to being on a path of becoming a master, the world's best, or one of the world's best in this stuff, just through practicing it and living it day by day. And I'm still learning. Um, so yeah, I cannot recommend this enough.
Right.
Many clients got a copy. I invite you to get yourself a copy. If you have people in your life you care about, give them a copy. If you have loved ones, give them a copy. If you want a German copy, it's going to be available soon on Amazon. We will see if we will create anything else around this. We will see. I'm not yet promising anything. And guys, if you have any questions, I acknowledge you for being open to reach out, and I encourage you to reach out because this one changed my life. And getting the PhD just through the act of creating the German version of it, immersing myself deeply into this. Like I was focusing from sometimes 5 o'clock in the morning. Then you go to the gym, have your coffee in the morning, you spend your time with your family, you serve clients, you do some stuff that has to be done, that gets to be done. And I get back to this, and then whoops, it's midnight. Oh, okay. It was a very very intense period and very joyful period of my life to do this, and like getting the PhD in this stuff through immersing myself in this again is like that's the biggest gift I can give to myself.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to wait to create like a perfect version because you know what's going on in the world right now, right?
Right.
Some people say it's crazy. I highly invite you to not use that phrase
Right.
because language creates,
It does.
and it happens a lot. Like a lot of stuff happens, a lot of stuff shifts. Like we could talk about AI for 8 hours, I guess, on this, but we will not do it today.
Right.
Uh, and the speed of the change is just massive. Never like this. We as a human race experienced anything like that, and the decision. I don't like. I think the decision was right to push through this and create the version and make it available as soon as possible, as opposed to waiting another several years to kind of polish it, and then it would never be perfect anyway, right? It was perfect. So progress over perfection. That's a different mantra, not in the book, but the bonus for you guys. Progress over perfection.
And so, guys out there listening or watching this episode right now, we will likely at some point have Chris Dorris on our show. CD is everyone who knows him calls him. And when Alexander talks about how the book is funny and her and it gets you, I mean, it's you're laughing 1 minute, crying the next, like he said. And what's great about not just the book, but how it's written is it is so authentic, genuine Chris Dorris. I mean, the way
Yeah, and so simple and so
yeah,
accessible as well.
The way he speaks in this book, the way he writes in this book, is the way he talks in real life. The way he is. This is who he is engulfed in this book, which is funny because I had actually met and talked to him before reading the book. So, a lot of times
Mm,
either you read a book and you have an expectation of what you're going to meet the person, or vice versa. And there was none of that. It was this person that I had met and talked to was exactly who was in this book. And that's what's great about it. You're getting Chris Dorris, regardless of whether you're reading the book, listening to the audio, or talking to him in person.
yeah, yeah. And for organizations, right? If you guys have businesses, have teams and so on, have
Mhm.
responsibility, like you could Google his website and see what he charges for this work, and just say
Right.
that's a healthy fee, and you get this for a fraction of the cost. Like you literally get him in your life through this
Right.
book. And I had that, a privilege of being introduced to him through through Steve Chandler's work and through his online school that I highly recommend to our colleagues,
Mhm.
other coaches and support professionals out there. It's just amazing school. Massive, massive value, just laughable fee you pay.
Yeah.
And I was so impacted just by watching the interview and the conversation between Steve Chandler and Chris Torres that I decided to reach out to him and acknowledge the guy.
Mhm.
And he got back to me. We had like kind of back and forth several years ago around this, and I gave him feedback and how it impacted me massively. And hey, did you read my book, by the way? And I'm like, oh, this is literally next on my list, and I decided not to wait, which is also one of the key takeaways from the book. Usually, what stands in the way between you and anything that you want to create in your life or business? What do you think is this?
Ourselves.
Yeah, that's a brilliant version. And you could say self-sabotage, you could say
Mhm.
when we stand in our own way,
Yeah.
which leads to waiting, unnecessary waiting. Sometimes you gotta sleep a night over something. Got it, right? I'm not talking about those cases.
Right.
I'm talking about unnecessary waiting, which is number one obstacle we put or which leads to unnecessary time
Hmm.
between us and the life we want, between us and the business we want, between us and the health we want. I could share also a story about my health transformation this year. Lost over 20 pounds, kept the weight, because it was never a problem to lose weight, but actually to keep it was challenging. Right? I
Hmm.
used to struggle with it. I healed what looked like a fatty liver without medication, just different lifestyle,
Hmm.
different nutrition, much more movement, going to the gym 4 times a week, taking long walks. Even if I have my client calls, some of them I take while I walk. For example, walking in the park, walking at the beach, walking somewhere.
Hmm.
And it was a miracle because I used to think this is not for me. This is just for some other people who, I don't know, maybe crazy healthy or whatever. And I used to put me in a different category. I used to create my own image in a different way. And at one point I stopped and I created my relationship with my body, with my health,
Hmm.
in a different way that is much more useful. Started telling stories that are useful instead of the opposite ones. Right? That's also a consequence of work, and it leaks in every single area of my life. It leaks in business, how I serve people. It leaks in when I meet people. It leaks in my private life, in my health, like you name it. Financially, I'm benefiting, and this has been this gem of the book has been just massive, massive, massive part of all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love what you're talking about our self-sabotage and the waiting and how it creates waiting. I mean, there's a reason why I put this clock up here. And that's I was actually first inspired by Devin Banison, another great coach in person, where he has a clock on his wall that says now. And after going
Yeah.
through his
There are no numbers, right? There are just
that's it.
uh now and then
There's still the hands. Yeah. You can still
the
kind of tell
hands.
what time it
Exactly.
is,
You
but
you can see the hands. You
yeah.
can guess what time is it, but it says now.
Yeah.
And I saw something similar at one of the best support professionals ever. Uh, Steve Hardison, who is unfortunately retired now, or fortunately for him, well deserved, extremely well deserved. Like
Right.
the guy is a legend, absolute legend, and was fortunate to be in his office this year, have a session with him, one of his last clients. Has when you go outside, he usually used to show people his Zen garden, which is amazing. He has a clock that says now as well.
Yeah.
So there's a theme, right? And Chris Doris used to be his client. Uh, Steve Chandler used to be his longtime client, like several decades work, benefiting massively from this. Yes. So the opposite of waiting, the opposite of unnecessary waiting is exactly this.
Yeah.
Is doing the stuff now, not waiting. For example, publishing it now, or creating the translation now, or changing the nutrition now.
Right.
And yeah, to be honest with you all, that it wasn't like a walk in the park with all just sunny and amazingly light experiences. Yes, a lot of them, but also a lot of like you one step forward, two steps back, three steps forward, five steps back, vice versa. It wasn't a linear journey. It
Right.
never used to be exact, but also staying in the path has been key.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you, from what you've described and what you've told me, offline is just like you said. I mean, you lose track of time. You got so engulfed in the work that next thing you know, it's midnight and you're like, oh man, I should have been going to bed already. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
having so
Yeah,
much fun.
exactly.
I'm doing this. And those are the things, for those of you out there listening or watching right now, you've heard the phrase being in the zone. You're in the
Or
zone
in the state of flow, which is, I
or
think, the
flow.
same thing.
Correct. Same
Yeah.
thing, in the state of flow, or you're in the zone, depending on how you look at it. But it's that focus, and it's that focus that you don't even realize at the time that you have, but you're so ingrained in what you're doing that you're that's all that's in front of you. That's all that you're focused on.
Yeah, you're one with this. Like
Yes.
there is no ego. There is no you dissolve yourself in what you do.
And
You
those are
become one with this, and this is
and
high performance state. This is peak performance state. Like
peak performance. Yeah.
I used to, I like back in the day when home office, when I still had my leadership career, and you used to like ask for permission to be in home office to do some work. It's outside of the office. I measured this, and actually, I realized through the state of flow, I was 20 to 30 times as productive as in the office when you get distracted every 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yep. Yep. I'm the same way.
And I'm not joking. So this is key how I created this German version in such a short period of time. Yes, plus technology, obviously. We use technology, we love it, but the key was still being in this super high productive state of flow, which can be created at any time just by desire.
Well, and the other part about that, though, for everyone to pay attention to, is when you find projects that engulf you like that, hang on to them, run with them. I mean,
Yeah.
we talk about that a lot as coaches and as people, that find something that kicks your butt out of bed in the morning. Find something you're so incredibly passionate about that you lose track of time like that. You lose track of
Same
time.
for leaders, same for
Yep.
business owners. Okay, yeah, we gotta pay food on the table, we gotta pay the bills. Yes, 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 and still doing that from like just the state of like, again, the grind, right? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Monday, fine. Which is why we're recording this on Sunday, and I can't wait for tomorrow,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because I'm excited about what you're doing. I completely agree with what Tony says about finding stuff that lights you up, that sets you on fire in the best possible way.
Yeah.
And also creating inspiration on purpose,
Mm-hmm.
which I learned from Chandler. One of his biggest things I learned from him. You can create inspiration. You don't have to wait until the inspiration is like a fairy visits you and like, whoo, suddenly you're inspired. That's nice. And you don't have to wait. You can create the environment where the inspiration comes, where it's more probable. You can create inspiration on purpose and build the muscle of creating inspiration on purpose, which is a state, right? Internal emotional state. And this book is all about states,
Yeah.
how to get there, how to use them, how to create the most amazing life, business results, future the most extraordinary with the biggest amount of fun, because why not?
Right.
Fun
Right.
makes things easy. If it's not easy, it's not right. If it ain't light, ain't right. That's a mantra right there.
And I like what you say about creation, because especially when you talk about Steve Chandler, because Steve Chandler talks about how you, like you said, you don't have to wait for the inspiration. You can create at any time. One of the phrases that came from, I think started with Steve and Devin Banison uses now is constantly consciously creating, the 3 C's. And what a thing that's great about that, and just starting to create, just do and create, is that creation creates more creation. As
Yeah.
you create more, and you keep creating, and it leads to action, and it leads to more motivation. Everyone's like, how do I get motivated? Well, start doing something. You know how it is. Like when you're sometimes when you say, oh, I'm going to clean the kitchen today, I'll get to the rest of the house later. Next thing you know, you've cleaned the whole house because
Yeah.
you started doing it, and it created more action. You're like, no, I'll just do this too, and I'll do this too. And next thing you know, the whole house is clean. Well, it's the same thing with anything in your life. As you create, you're creating not just what you're working on creating, you're creating the motivation to keep creating. So action spurs more action, creation spurs more creation. So just do it.
Just
Don't
do
wait.
it. That's another mantra that some people know as a slogan for a company we're not promoting.
Right. We're not.
But it's one of the best, it's one of the best slogans ever, in my opinion, because
Yeah.
it's a mantra.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
It
just
really
do
is.
it. Yeah, you don't have to think about what could go wrong. Can you do it? Is it possible to do it? Like, you don't have to think about any of that. You could just make a first step and see what works.
Mm-hmm.
And if the first step is not in the right direction, you can always correct and make another step. But as long as you stay on the path, there is no way you can not make it.
Right. Right. That's right. So yeah, yeah. So guys, the main reason again for today's show is just to say, hey, we're back.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be so much fun. We're gonna have so many fun guests, or maybe just ourselves. We'll have episodes like this where we
Or
just talk.
both, exactly
Yeah.
both.
So for everybody who
Mm.
loved the Super Awesome Show before, you're gonna love it again. Love it more, more,
Yeah.
better. It's gonna be
Yeah.
it's gonna be awesome. It is awesome, and you can't ask for anything more than two brothers from another mother, talking it out whenever they have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Anything you want to
Yeah.
close with, Alexander, before we call it a day?
Thank you for being with us. And if you
Yeah.
have any questions, if you're like, guys, I struggled a lot, right, in the past. It's not been a linear journey. Like, not no matter where you are, I just want to invite you to be kind to yourself,
Yeah.
right? If you have any questions, reach out.
Yeah, and you can
I truly
find us.
mean that.
You can find us at our website is superawesome.com. So it's pretty easy. You can find us there. There's a contact us form there, so you can reach out to us that way if you need to. Otherwise, we're available on most social platforms. I know Alexander and I both spend quite a bit of time on LinkedIn and Facebook, so feel free to message us there, and we'd be more than happy to chat with you. So thank you,
Amen.
everybody. Thank you for coming back to the Super Awesome Show, and we'll see you on the next episode.
See you in the next episode, and be awesome, or be super awesome, and be
Super
you
awesome.
guys. Bye bye.
Bye.